back in person. This week in White Supremacy, yes. And we're very colorful today. Particularly you all are very, very colorful.
Yeah, it's summertime still, and I want to embrace
Just call
that.
us colored.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
He did.
I'm calling HR.
I
I feel attacked.
Colorful. Full of color.
You said all you blacks are full of color.
Oh, wow. All you black people. With all your... No, I'm not. No,
Go ahead.
I didn't go. I'm not Uncle Ruckus.
The new MAGA Muslim.
I am Jasiri X. I am co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. I'm happy to be back with you all in all of your,
Vibrant
Color.
splendor.
vibrance. Yes, vibrance. We'll leave it at that.
Opulence.
Yes. Well,
You
really?
know the blacks are so loud.
Opulence in this economy? Maybe not. What's
maybe not.
opulence in this economy? You bought like a whole thing of beef?
Maybe.
Um,
I guess it's,
Opulence in this economy. I bought like a whole bunch of cucumbers. Do not laugh. And I made like this really, really good cucumber salad. I take my little peeler and I just like slice
so
it.
cucumbers are
And-
high now?
No, because those are vegetables. But I'm saying
Okay.
it looked very opulent. It looked very decadent, and it was so good because I'm on my weight loss
Okay.
journey. So
On your journey, yes.
I have
Well,
to
can-
eat vegetables.
Can you introduce yourself for the people who do not know you? And if they don't know you, they must have never watched one show.
Well, they don't like me. You know what? But what's up? It's your girl Miracle, aka Big Blessing with the Big Blessings.
the Palestinian princess.
We had jokes again today. But the Black August Liberator, it's like my favorite month. I'm so happy. Like this is why I'm like getting up early in the morning. That's why I'm showing up on time. Like this is like my month of like radiance. And I'm so happy about it and liberation.
Gaza's guardian.
Oh, I like that. But I'm not doing a very good job.
Yeah,
so
man.
like
I'm gonna say, yeah.
And we will talk about that because there's been a lot of updates on what's happening in Gaza, how it's being framed in the media. There's a lot of conversation we want to have about that later on. And sir,
Yeah, it's the Lebanese Lothario.
okay,
Ooh.
that's it.
No, it's full-time supervillain, part-time hater. I'm
Okay.
happy to be here
The
amongst my illustrious...
R&B singer now. You fully thrown your hat into the R&B field.
Yeah, I'm doing a little something.
He
Okay.
he saw somebody coming over here with the breezy bowl and was like, wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
Is the Breezy Bowl happening in Pittsburgh?
No.
Hell
Oh,
no.
I'm about to
You
say.
know we don't get no concerts like that.
Yeah, I'm about to
You know what
say,
I'm
that'd
saying?
be crazy.
We do not get concerts.
You think he could fill out a stadium?
I mean, he is,
And
right?
he did- last
No,
time,
Pittsburgh. No,
No,
Pittsburgh,
last time
yeah.
he sold out PPG.
But that's not a stadium. I don't know.
That's an
well,
arena.
my bad.
Pittsburgh probably
What's the
not.
stadium?
Like Heinz. Yeah, Heinz
Yeah.
Stadium.
Maybe
Well,
if you-
Beyonce didn't.
Who's the guy?
People forget Chris Brown has a different
Yeah, he
Right,
does.
right.
fan
No,
base,
he really does.
right?
yeah.
And
It's
also,
almost cult-like.
He
If he came with Morgan Wallen, he could.
He also has a rural fan base as well. His concerts are all sold out, by the way. International
this?
concerts sold out. Local
Who is
concerts
this?
sold out.
Chris
So
Brown.
I just want to calm down. I know
a
people don't
rural
like
fan
him.
Base?
Huh? He has rural, yeah.
Rural, like
Country?
When he
Nah.
couldn't do when he couldn't tour. No, I'm saying when he couldn't tour cities, that's what he did. So that's where he was going.
and why couldn't he tour Cities Miracle?
Jesus Christ.
What happened in his life that caused him not to be able to tour? It's
Listen,
not funny. man.
Miracle gonna shoot Chris Brown some bail.
No. Since we're going to go there, I said we all
Black men need to have therapy.
and second chances and
Yes,
learn and
yes,
grow
yes.
and engage. And as people learn and grow and engage, you hold them accountable, and then you celebrate their wins, you mourn their losses, and you hope
Got you,
for them to be
got you.
better.
You hope for them to be better.
And
You hope
not
for them to
violent.
grow.
Because you want black women to
1,000%.
live. You want black women
Yes.
to be loved without abuse and violence.
1,000%.
I
I
like
agree.
your glasses.
I agree.
Thank you.
Yes.
You've said that about 3 different times. However,
He only compliments me after he's thrown me under the bus. So he's like,
No.
he's a little injured, but like, well, she looked pretty.
So-
it's like, thank you.
I feel like
I got to break you down to build you up. Keep you in check.
Wow,
Listen,
wow. I feel like every week we come on here with another like all hell is breaking loose headlines or headline. And
It's the end of days. Why wouldn't we?
it is, but really I would say the end of days. And then it's also, we're literally watching like the end of democracy. Like we're
Yes.
watching democracy, which was, and you can even argue that we never, particularly as black and brown people, have never really experienced democracy to the level that we should have.
Large up democracy now on free speech TV.
Absolutely. And we've never had that full access. Obviously, if their laws have to be written to even just allow us to be able to vote, laws which they're about to take away. Right? We haven't really had full access to democracy, but now what Donald Trump is doing is basically saying, like, I am going to take over everything.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing that play out in Texas right now, as Texas basically are saying they're redistricting. And because they're changing their...
called gerrymandering.
100%, because what Texas did was they basically, I think they took Jasmine Crockett's area away from her. One of the things they were doing was they were writing these Democratic individuals out of their districts.
Wasn't Mississippi that did the same thing to create that all white voting system?
I believe it was Mississippi. I think, was it Alabama? Alabama was like literally taken to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court said, look, you have to redraw this map to include at least one other majority black district. And they said no.
Yeah.
They said, no, we're not doing that. So again, when people tell us, oh, just vote, there was a famous politician that said, don't boo, vote. Well, okay, so now we voted, but look at what happens now. Right. When the people can actually take away our district and take away our power, then obviously this is not a just vote thing. However, so when the Texas Republicans did this, the Democrats, vowing to fight this redistricting, just left. And I thought this was really interesting because you have to have some quorum for this to pass. So the Texas Democrats went to Chicago, and the governor of Illinois, who's a billionaire, is helping to facilitate this. And then the governor of Texas ordered them all to be arrested and returned to the House. So I want to come to you, Miracle, because this is something like, I don't know what the legal precedent. I've never seen anything like this, where, the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, what did Jasmine Crockett call him?
Hot Wheels. Fucking the Decepticon that he is.
He is, not only is he calling for the Democrats that left to be arrested, he also was saying he was going to replace all of them. And obviously replace them with Democrats.
Yeah.
And now Texas. So what's happening is
because he refused to call the election when Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's replacement also passed.
Right.
So, like, what type of system are we dealing with here? He really has no power to recall them. As a Pennsylvania senator says, like, why do you want me to show up to work? Like, what are these meetings you want me to, come to? Right. So, like, they're just stuck in limbo.
Right.
And it's funny that they flew to Illinois. I guess they couldn't fly to Pennsylvania since Pennsylvania wrote its own redistricting to keep Summer and her mother out of the congressional district. And so it was too much like pot calling the kettle if people would have come to Pennsylvania to, flee this horrible racist anti-black redistricting effort.
Yes.
But again, as we watch democracy fails once again because people fail to upload and support and protect black people, because when John Lewis Voting Rights Act was put back into Congress, they didn't vote on it, they didn't push it,
right?
Even when Biden was president. So we don't have those protections.
One thing Miracle's gonna do.
I was about to say, take your shot.
Go ahead, Miracle.
Kick him while he down, Miracle. Kick that nigga while he down.
No, this is what I want to say. I was going there because Texas has had a long history of anti-blackness.
Yes.
And when the Voting Rights Act began to fall under the Supreme Court and people kept saying we need voter rights legislation, we need Voting Rights Act legislation, people kept saying that black people were being too sensitive, that we were just basically trying to play the race card, that why can't we move on beyond race? And now we see why. Without the Supreme Court measures is talking about why we need protections, why we need equal access to the ballot box, this is what happens.
Right.
I seen something that said the single star on Texas's flag is a review.
That is hilarious. It It says Democrats hold 62 of the 150 seats in the legislature's lower chamber. As long as 51 members remain out of Austin, the Texas legislature cannot move forward with any votes, including a plan sought by Donald Trump to redraw the state's congressional maps to give Republicans 5 more seats in Congress.
Wow.
I mean, I think that however the maps fall, Democrats still need to organize.
Yeah, absolutely.
They still need to knock every door. They still need to mobilize. And again, Democrats cannot forget the South. I will say this all the time. More Black, brown, and queer people live in the South than any other place in the nation. Mm-hmm. And when Democrats forget to fight the South, they're throwing away Black, brown, and queer votes.
It's an overwhelming percentage.
It's an overwhelming percentage. You know, a lot of Black people in Mississippi, Alabama, and I think of
the proper, like the deep South.
You know, the Justins. I think about the Justins talking about, if you want to know what fascism is, look at Tennessee. Look at what's going on in Tennessee. Look at the fact that, you know, they just voted to give Elon Musk his own, like, basically private playground.
And wouldn't even allow... They wouldn't even allow
Justin in to even look at the ceremony.
The sitting, he's a state legislator, to even go look at the airport.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's like that's his district,
right?
And the governor would not allow him in. Yes,
and it's all white men, right? Looking and voting on this. None of these men are from Memphis. None of these people are even in these neighborhoods. And when we talk about like fascism, where is Texas getting its playbook from? It's from Tennessee, right? Mm-hmm. One of the most anti-Black racist places like in the country, but also a state that is overwhelmingly Black. There's so many Black people, like, you know, even just outside of Memphis that are, you know, are there. And so when we give up the South, when we cede ground, when we forget to talk to people, we lose. And I think this is a wake-up call for Democrats to be like, you know what, we have to fight. Every voter, every door, every neighborhood, every area, we have this message of populism that actually resonates with people. But when we fail to carry through, we're throwing people aside. And now we're going to see in Texas, it's going to be literally even more life and death.
Wouldn't it be fair to say, though, that this is just status quo continuing for the Democrats? Because for them to have a come to Jesus moment or a wake up call now that finally says, okay, we need to fight because there's redistricting on the line and there's all these other votes that we stand to lose.
Right.
Hasn't this, I mean, if they haven't done it up to this point, what's the incentive to do it now?
No, I'm going to say
the incentive to do it now is that they might not have their own seats.
Hakeem Jeffries is never going to be Speaker of the House if he can't win.
I get that. I'm speaking as like, you know,
I'm gonna be honest.
I think Hakeem Jeffries wants to be Speaker of the House, right?
He does, absolutely.
We know that. Well, he can't do that if he's losing seats, right?
And again, so he's always protected his own. Yeah, there you go.
So at the end of the day, if it's not for democracy, it's going to be for ego. It's going to be because you want to be the first person, the first Black person as Speaker of the House. So what you are going to do is get up and fight and go and win, right? I think we need our own January 6th moment in the Democratic Party.
I mean, you know what? Listen, I said that shit before. Right. They had the right idea.
Ironically, it says the Texas Attorney General, Ken Patton, fled his own impeachment hearings. He
said, "Not today, nigga."
How you gonna talk shit on the Democrats and you fled?
Ted Cruz flew to what was it? Canada to Mexico?
Yeah.
Was it Greece? Like every time something happens.
Yeah, but Ted Cruz is never there.
It says, and Ken Patton
ain't gonna blame me if I'm not there.
It says Ken Patton also refused a court order to release his travel records after speaking at a rally that preceded the January 6th insurrection. So again, it's like you see this hypocrisy playing out. But I honestly believe, Farouk, that I don't think they thought when Trump got into office that things would that we would be at fascism in 6 months. I think they thought, again, like
maybe 18 months.
No, well, again, I think they thought like, okay, we got through it the last time. It was one term. Yeah. You know, we'll get a chance to use our bully pulpit. Like, I don't think they thought he was going to move this quickly. Like I said, now he's saying, like, we're taking your seats away.
Yeah.
Like, he got tired. You know, Jasmine Crockett just called him a piece of shit. Like, he's mentioned Jasmine Crockett a few times.
Yeah, he's definitely
We know how Trump's sensitivity is. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the reasons that when you see, like, I look, I'm like, why aren't these journalists really pressing Trump? Because they know if they press him, they'll lose access immediately. because of how sensitive he is. So now here's Trump. This is how Trump's fighting back. Oh, you want to keep taking shots at me? I'll take your whole district away.
Yeah.
Now, California is saying that if Texas does this, that California, who's going through redistricting, is going to do the same thing.
Right.
That California is going to say, okay, well, we have the power. We'll just take all the Republican seats away.
Yeah.
So again, I'm coming to you, Miracle. Like, where does this end up? Because, I mean, obviously, the Texas Democrats can't just live in Illinois for the next 4 years. Like,
or can they?
Or can they? I don't know.
I'm gonna say they can all just be absentee.
It's giving very much Mississippi burning. It's giving very much like 1950s.
Yes.
But I think this is going to the fact that a study just came out that said people view the Democratic Party as weak.
Yes.
And not wanting to fight. So I think this is the opportune moment for the Democratic Party to put on its big girl panties and fight back and mobilize back and not just do fundraising, but actual policies, actual issues. If we're talking about everybody's focused on 2028, and right now, Pritzker.
We might not make it.
Yeah, Pritzker. Yeah.
But right now,
it's not looking like we will.
But right now,
well, if we make it, it's not going to be no election.
But right now, it looks like Pritzker is going to be the guy, right? Because he's out there mobilizing.
He definitely is.
And he's out there like actually engaging in progressive values.
He owns the Chicago Hyatt Hotel. The governor, Pritzker, he's a billionaire, and it said he will provide free rooms for the Texas Democrats for as long as they're out of the state.
And a lot of people are like, bro, you could have done that for people here in Chicago, which like push, right? So I think this is the thing. I think this is the thing that people are going to do. Is like, okay, do it for the Dems, now do it for the people in Chicago. When we had all this sentiment of like people being hungry and homeless, where were you, sir? Where were you? So I think that now is a time to push, to mobilize, and demand everything. Do I think we're going to make it to 2028? You know, I do. I don't know if we're going to have as many freedoms.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely coming in with a handicap.
You know, I do wrestle with this because I don't know what the answer really is. Because I feel that like people kind of want fascism. I feel like
I feel like we're already in a full. We're in a free fall to communism.
I mean, we're in a
and not the good kind.
Now I will say this: the governor of New York basically said she's considering redistricting. Like again, here's California, here's New York. I guess do we have just an all out these Democratic governors are saying they're going to do redistricting to rebalance things? I mean, is this where it goes? But again, I think that
redistricting is simply drawing the map so black people cannot vote. I think people
that's what they've been doing.
But I think that's what people also have to understand is if you you usually vote for like your mayor, your city council, your county council, your congressperson, your senator. All of these maps, right? Besides your Senate. It is drawn. Most places in the history of drawing the maps has been to dilute black and brown voting power. So, for instance, here in Pittsburgh, our Pittsburgh City Council does not have the same maps as our Pittsburgh School Board, even though it's the same geographic location. Because if our Pittsburgh School Board maps looked at like our Pittsburgh City Council maps, we would have at least 5 black city council people instead of 2. And so when we talk about how we draw maps, it is always been very racist, very anti-black.
Yes.
And so again, it's like how much energy do you want to fight into preserving a racist system as opposed to building something new, right? And people have always talked about if we organize and mobilize, we use mutual aid, what are the things that we're going to be fighting for? And that's what the Democrats are going to have to ask, because I feel like we're not going to make it to Christmas.
I mean, it looks like that. I mean, we just had a situation where Donald Trump was not satisfied with the jobs report that came out. Again, Trump is on record, and they keep saying, we have the hottest country. We're the hottest country, as if the country is a teenage girl, right?
Yeah.
It's so hot. We're the hottest country, but the statistics are failing him. He's talking about how great the economy is doing, but the economy is not doing well. And so when the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I'm not even going to... her last name is what I don't know it. Dr. Erica, we'll call her, put out this report. Trump fired her. And basically the report showed that the jobs added were far below expectations. Employment growth is going down. But we see this, right? People feel this, right? Food is at its all-time high.
Listen,
just going to the store.
I just seen petrol went up 6 cents in 2 days.
Yo, I spent $200 on groceries, and I only got 11 items.
Right.
I was like,
it's absolutely insane in all stores right now. It's like,
and all I
gotta go grocery shopping right now, and I'm like, fuck.
Right, all I did was like reorder. Like I didn't even look up what I was ordering. I was just like reorder, and I was like, wait, what?
But again, according to Trump, he's saying the economy is booming under Trump. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, booming bad? Like, what is booming? A sonic boom? Is that the explosion of affordability? Just, that's what we hear?
Right,
I mean,
but
I said it booming, I meant falling apart. You said booming, you meant it was going up. My bad.
But again, so what this does though is if you're working in one of these areas, you know now whoever the next Bureau and Labor Statistic knows, if they give a negative report, if they give like the real issues and it's wrong, or I'm not that it's wrong, but if they give the real and Trump doesn't like it, they're going to be fired. So again, what happened? Because it really happened, and it was like not just a big deal. Oh, he just fired somebody.
Yeah.
Is there any recompense?
No. No. I mean, that was you said earlier. Like Trump's sensitivity clearly knows a limit. I was gonna say it knows no bounds, but no, it's very finite.
Right.
And I think but again, this is this illusion that he kind of gave you a preface to this Project 2025.
Yeah.
That was gonna be this authoritarian government style.
True.
Right. Like from everything from the redistricting to the attempted sanctions and tariff wars that he's imposed or try to impose on other countries,
right?
Every to redacting his name in FBI files,
right?
To trying to overhaul and cut government expenses everywhere, yes. And then now just firing people for bringing about real statistics.
Apparently, he just said that Biden put his name in Epstein. Like he hasn't known this nigga for 30 years.
I mean, it's just funny because like there are so many parallels that you can draw to now. Trump and Kim Jong-un, Trump and Hitler, Trump and Stalin, Trump and Mussolini, Trump and Chairman Mao, Trump and Pol Pot, Trump, like whomever it is, you can draw a parallel to Trump. And it's crazy because Americans are always on this patriotism, democracy first thing right now. Democracy, America first and democracy first has been like the call line and the tagline of America this season. Yet America keeps coming last. Yeah. Like I seen this thing I shared the other day. It was like, America, you okay, girl? You barely touch your liberty and justice for all. It's like, baby, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong right now? I don't know, man.
Yeah. Where we're going is a place that is very, and again, it's like we know where we're going. We know we're going into
where we're going.
We're going into this huge
upside down.
I mean, here's Trump, like you mentioned, right? We get a report that says the FBI has been redacting his name from the Epstein files.
And that was what, 60,000 pages, 30,000 pages? Something?
However,
a lot of pages.
We know.
A lot of fucking text.
You wrote this man a birthday. Like, we know you knew Epstein, right? This is after Trump said, oh, he stole a teenage girl from my spa. What do you mean stole? Right? Like again, like.
There's so many problematic things about that
sounds
sentence.
like trafficking language, but alas, you know what I'm saying? You just had this video come out. Did you want to play that video? Of Trump again talking about, and this isn't young Donald Trump. This isn't Donald Trump in the 80s, right? No. This is old Donald Trump talking about interviewing a woman that's 17 or 18 years old. Again, as this thing, the more you don't put the Epstein files up, the more we're gonna find videos like this. Can you play that video, sir?
Yes, sir.
I had a case. It was very interesting. A beautiful girl who was 17 or 18 applying to be a waitress. She's so beautiful. She's like a world-class beauty, like the young lady who just asked a question about the actors. She's so beautiful. And my people came, she said, well, Mr. Trump, she has no experience. So you can get her anywhere because you're something. And I said, let me ask you, do you have any experience? She goes, no, sir. I said, when can you start? And you all need to work on my plan anytime.
Oh,
Hey, you know, she worked on my plan. That's like a death wish for me, right? That's like an alcoholic. I have many friends that are people that are alcoholics. You put scotch in front of them. It's like,
Teenage
this would be my form of
girls.
alcoholism.
Teenage girls is his form of alcoholism, not
God
from my mouth,
damn.
from his own mouth. 17 to 18 years old.
That's
right.
That whole wow.
So again,
Wow.
we know Trump's name is in the Epstein files. They told him in May, right? Now he's trying to get all of his name redacted from it. Then they go meet with Ghislaine Maxwell,
Right.
and then she gets transferred to a minimum security prison. This is somebody who trafficked teenage girls.
Yeah.
That like one of the most horrific crimes we could think of, right? For the purpose of sex. And then you talk to Trump's lawyer. It seems like there should be more outrage.
It seems like that, but that would just make sense.
I think that these files are going to get their release. Everybody is going to flee. I feel like everybody's going to be on a trip to Bali right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Doing yoga with
But
Russell
Trump
Simmons.
doesn't have to flee, Miracle, because he
president.
No.
he has all the power.
I have
Yes.
the power.
Yes and no. I do think that depending people are, I don't think they're going to care. I think they're going to be revolt. I think they're going to be like dismayed and disgusted. But if hypothetically, if Clinton is in there, he going to prison.
Who, Clinton?
Right? If Clinton is in there.
Clinton is in there. We already know he's
No,
in
but I'm
there.
saying hypothetically, we don't know.
There's a picture of him getting like a massage
Correct.
by one of the women that was one of Epstein's victims.
Correct. But this is what
I
I'm
wonder what
saying.
Hillary's
This is
doing right now.
Listen, I think that we're about to see if this actually comes true.
You think they still live together? I mean, come on.
I think you're about to see a lot of people mysteriously go up yonder.
But
I think
Miracle.
you're about to see a lot of people mysteriously abscond from
Miracle.
the United States.
It says the Trump administration has given no explanation for its transfer of sex offender and Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell to a minimum
because they
security.
don't need to give an explanation. We know what it is.
So if he's in charge of these files, he's redacting his name. It could be he's accused. You know how somebody like, you know, when you accuse the person of doing the thing you're doing, like you try to get ahead of it. So he's accusing
Gaslighting?
Yes, he's accusing
I know a thing or
Obama
two about
and
that.
Biden. You're the gaslighter. He's accusing them of making up Epstein files. Couldn't he be doing the same thing, putting all his supposed enemies on there, so then when the files are released, he can put all of his quote unquote enemies in jail? Can he do that?
What I think is he's trying to like buy time, but when it happens, everybody's got to go. I think I'm very honest. I look forward to these files being released.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel.
But are they going to be the real files?
I think so. I think he's going to try to delete some stuff.
I mean, he is. He's already. It's not.
You know, but
he's
I think
deleting it
everybody
now.
else
This
gonna
is
be
an
there.
episode of Succession.
It really is in real time. But I also do think
they just did a poll. It says many Americans say Trump is involved in Epstein crimes. Even many Republicans say they believe the Trump administration is covering up evidence of Epstein crimes.
But clearly that's not a deal breaker. Like,
yes,
which is wild.
And wait, walk with me. Walk with me.
Okay.
We want to get rid of Trump, right? We want to get rid of the clutches that the Democrats have, the old guard Democrats have on their Democratic Party, right? Mm-hmm. If it's there, this is the it, right?
But that's not going to get rid of Trump.
No, this is
He's not going nowhere, Miracle.
It depends on how ballsy J.D. Vance wants to be, right? Because J.D. Vance...
Did you see him run, Miracle?
Hold on.
Did he run like a man that was ballsy, Miracle?
Because is it going to be J.D. Vance, America first? Or is it going to be J.D. Vance, Trump is Hitler?
How attractive is the couch in the Oval Office?
I was just about to. Oh, you beat me to it.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we do have a president who was out here messing with underage girls and engaging in human trafficking, and these files prove that, that means everybody, what was it? Not Harvey Weinstein, the guy, the New York dude. He tried to come back and we didn't want him anymore.
Kevin Spacey?
No.
Not Harvey Weinstein, somebody else.
I think his name was also Weinstein. And he got caught like messaging somebody. He was married. He worked with Hillary Clinton. It was in New York.
Andrew, somebody, Was it?
And he tried to come back.
Yeah, they didn't.
Couldn't do it. They're like, no, sir, we know you're a
miracle.
sex pest.
Miracle. Think about this. Think about it.
He's causing, I think Trump has called what we just realized with this job report.
He just moved Ghislaine Maxwell to a minimum security prison after talking to her with his lawyer. If that doesn't show something is going on, somebody has information they don't want to get out.
Yeah, I'm about to say, as a nigga who's kind of familiar with jail, anytime you get moved, there's something afoot.
We already know something's afoot. But this is what I think about. Trump is making stuff more expensive. You just had that man in New York go try to run through the NFL office, made a mistake,
and went to Blackstone or whatever it was,
and took out some other executives, right? You have a situation where we are like this close away from a French-style revolution. And you got to do something. I think a lot of these CEOs are scared.
Yeah.
People's money is getting a little funny. And I think come Christmas, people going, this is what I think.
Miracle. It says Maxwell doesn't appear.
She lied before, she going to lie again.
Wait, no. It says to have been eligible for such a transfer unless somebody granted her a waiver. They're talking about the possibility that she gets a pardon.
She's probably going to be pardoned by the time. Her and Boosie about to be pardoned together.
That'd be crazy.
It's just like a mess.
I wonder if he's going to hire her to like host a party or something.
Please. He would. He actually would.
And then would these MAGA folks care like when he does this? But again, I agree with you. I agree that there has to be, and it's ironically, Miracle, what you're saying is what Charlemagne the God said, right? Charlemagne the God went on Laura Trump's show and said he believes because of the Epstein files that the conservative Republicans are going to take back the Republican Party. Donald Trump issued this long diss to Charlemagne the God. How dare he call himself God? Who allows him to do that? You know what I'm saying? So I hear you.
Man, he don't know
can they hurry up? Can they hurry up? Do we have to wait till Christmas? Can y'all hurry it up and do it now?
I think Christmas is going to be the breaking point, and this is why I really fear of like the econo side. Remember a couple years ago, the last recession, people were taking out their families.
Yeah,
I think this recession, people are taking out CEOs, and that's what people.
Correct.
But I do also want to point out.
Yeah, no, that's the fear. Well, we don't want to play that clip after talking about taking out CEOs.
A couple of months ago, Secretary of State Rubio talked about how the BRICS was getting stronger. And I forgot what the acronym is, but it's basically this international money.
Brazil, China, Africa, India, something like that.
System, this payment system, and how within 5 years nobody is going to want to do business or going to need to do business with the United States of America based on all this trade and these treaties that people are making. You see Macron, French Prime Minister, President, basically taking over like international trade and policies and bypassing America. So we are literally looking at the decline of America on all fronts.
This is also happening. Go ahead.
Great deal apart because of how we're doing immigration.
Yes.
We, for the first time, are going to have a decline in not only undocumented folks, but legal people. We're also having a decline in tourism. Right. A lot of these universities are not even getting international students, which is also we talked before, is how they get free labor and research.
Yeah.
So now this president is causing all of this failure through all of these
only the strong survive,
all of these industries. And I don't think that people are really prepared for what the impacts are.
No.
And so I do foresee like Republicans being like, oopsie. The job reports is the first thing. We're looking at the healthcare crisis as another thing.
Right. But miracle. Attorney General Bondi orders the prosecutors to start a grand jury probe into Obama officials over Russia investigation. What better way to knock the Epstein conversation off the front page than to arrest President Barack Obama? I'm telling you, like, it's coming. Now, will he remain arrested? Will he like get denied bond? Charges against Obama are coming.
They're coming, but he also has, the same presidential privilege that the Supreme Court said that Trump had.
Right, yeah.
That's true.
That's very true, yeah.
Right? So, again, what's good for the goosey goose is good for the gander.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
That's true.
So it's going to be, he's going to have the same presidential privilege. So before they can do anything, the Supreme Court is going to have to rule.
Strike that down, yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be a problem. They say no presidential privilege.
Right.
Then, like, Trump out of here.
Right, yeah.
So now, and you can't do, but it's only for Trump and not for Obama.
Right.
A mess. Here
so
we go.
the Trump administration, this was another, again, it seems like every day, it seems like every day. Every day more stuff comes out.
Because every day we stray farther and away from the will of the Lord.
I would say from God's will. Yeah.
Right. So, remember, Trump ran on America First, and now they came out and said they will deny disaster relief funds to states and cities that boycott Israel, right?
We called that shit a long time ago.
The boycott, divestment, and sanctions was what the activists who put that together was like a nonviolent response to what people saw as the occupation of Palestine by Israel. It was based upon what folks did in South Africa when South Africa had an apartheid regime. And it was like, okay, well, we're not like, don't spend any money on these products, don't support, because of what we've been seeing in Gaza over the last 2 years. There were different cities and states that said, okay, we're going to pass these resolutions to say we're not going to do business with Israel until Israel begins to change things. Clearly, that's not going to happen. We'll talk about that. I mean, tying disaster relief and aid, which they're not even doing anyway. They're actually not giving any disaster relief and aid, even to Republican states, which also might be one of these reasons for maybe Trump being, somebody getting rid of Trump. How do we feel about this?
Had good messaging.
It says the requirement applies to at least $2 billion that states rely on to cover search and rescue equipment, emergency manager salaries, and backup power systems.
Nothing says America first, like you got to die because you don't support a foreign state.
That's crazy.
Right? And whoever thought the party of boycotting French fries?
Freedom fries.
Freedom party of boycotting French fries and French wine would be like, you will die if you boycott a foreign state.
This is 2025 America. This new season. What is it? The 270 whatever season of America?
Yes.
Where a president is now, essentially trying to restart a civil war to where he can effectively protect
249.
This is season.
Will we make it to 250?
Will we make it to 250? Right. That's the question.
Because we have an art project we have to do.
He torpedoing that shit. But no, but the fact that a president,
I have to make
the fact that a sitting president could leverage or threaten a protectorate against these existing states that should be protected by the Constitution. Last time I checked, I don't know.
But also, what happened to free speech?
What happened to free speech? What happened to...
So if I believe...
Again, your Bill of Rights is just being shit on.
Because we collectively voted and said we want to do this as a city or state, now you're going to punish us?
Right. And it's still bewildering to me that you still have these Trump supporters who, I didn't vote for this. This is literally what you voted for.
Yes.
There was no way you could have not known.
Right.
All the signs were there. All the people who have been appointed to the cabinets in influential positions, all of the talking points leading all the way through the campaign trail.
Yeah.
Pointed directly to, there was a green and yellow sign.
But, and again, not to shoot MAGA people bell, but remember, Trump said he was going to end the wars. Obviously, he's created more, and there's still no peace.
Said he's going to end the foreign wars. He's going to start one inside.
He said he's going to end the foreign war.
We're going to start war here.
Russia's still doing, and then, in fact, and again, like, if you want to go into the miracles rights portion of the show, apparently Putin came out and was like, if we did even 2% of what Israel's been doing, the whole international community would be against us, right? So here's Netanyahu, remember, Trump came out last week and basically told Netanyahu, finish the job, whatever that means.
Again, he's been using that.
As we're watching people literally starve to death.
How much more of the job can you do? Like, the job's over.
And get shot at over food, right? Now Netanyahu has came out and said he's decided on a full occupation. Again, it's like, what do you mean a full occupation? You already have occupied. You're
just calling things.
What part of the Gaza Strip don't you control? Yeah.
That's what we've always said is like either give everybody the same rights or let people have their own state. Because you keep going this back and forth of like, this is what we want, this is what we don't want.
Neither of those are going to be
right. It's like this. It could.
We want to have second class citizens.
Be so simple. It makes absolutely no sense. But like Netanyahu just tried to fire the Israeli.
The guy who's investigated him for corruption.
Like the Israeli basically attorney general.
Right.
Because
remember? And there was a point where Netanyahu tried to get rid of the whole court system.
This same idea of like, these leaders get into trouble.
Yes.
And then they want to usurp democracy.
Yes.
And then have wars as a distraction. You go back to Clinton. Remember, he and Monica Lewinsky had that big scandal. And apparently Hillary Clinton did not talk to him again until she demanded that he go, and bomb another nation, right? And so this idea,
really, that's a hell of a.
Wow. It's oh my gosh.
Hey, big head.
Right?
Hey, big head. What's up with them bombs?
This idea of like people die because people just have bad approval ratings. You want to win an election, go to war.
Yep.
Your bad approval ratings, drop a bomb.
You need to stimulate the economy, drop a bomb. Yeah.
And it's like there's so many other things that you could be doing at the meantime. Innocent people. In the meantime, innocent people die, get arrested for no reason. And when I look at
and why doesn't Netanyahu why isn't Netanyahu answering? What about the hostages, right? Because clearly, if you go in and order a full takeover of Gaza, that's going to put those hostages in more danger, right? What about the hostages, Netanyahu, where we've seen time and time again that hostages could have been released. He's preventing this shit.
This is one of the most evil things that we've
never seen anything like
this.
Because
there was so much media that wasn't around when Hitler was in power, right? There was no internet. There was no high-speed communication superhighway like we have now. Like, you literally are seeing the worst of the worst, the most disgusting, biblical, historical genocide, famine. It's literally all four horsemen at one time.
Right in our face,
And this guy is just parading it around you and saying, but wait, there's more.
Right.
He's always raising the bar.
Not even saying, again, and not only that, he's actually, it's very similar to Trump, right? And it goes into what Miracle was saying. Now you want to be this dictator. See, the idea of having like a group think, right, is not only to make better decisions, but also because it all doesn't fall on one person, right?
Right, yeah.
You have a situation right now in America and Israel where one person is making the worst decisions because Israel, who had all of this support, right, in the United States internationally, it's almost been reversed in 2 years based on decisions made by Benjamin Netanyahu and his right-wing cabinet. So now in the face of famine, right, where the whole world is saying, yo, Gaza, please do something. Again, you have a moment where you can show that you have some humanity. Okay,
well, you
look.
can't spell democratic without demon.
But I'm just saying, here's Netanyahu who could say, no, we're going to make sure food gets in. We're going to show. But he does the opposite. They're literally trying to deny that famine. We're watching this, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Starting off contextually.
Yes.
Taking of hostages against Islam, international law.
Yes.
Right.
Putting it out there.
Yes.
There was a report that came out that said that Hamas had agreed to release all the hostages on October 8th
yes.
and October 9th.
Right.
So the past 2 years
yeah.
has all been unnecessary and irrelevant.
Correct.
Further report, even Hunter Biden came out and said, Netanyahu had known for at least a year that October 7th was being planned
Right.
about.
Yes.
Everyone knew about this.
Right.
It has never been about the hostages. It has been about the systemic
Miracle.
destruction. Hold on.
They've killed their
Own hostages. Because people...
What are we talking about?
Right, it's never been about the hostages. It's never been about the Palestinians. It's always been a grab for land because people believe, as we just saw with our own Mike Huckabee, the ambassador to Israel, just came out and said God gave them the land, and so whatever happens, the land is theirs, and so they need to reclaim. This idea that a higher being has given somebody physical rights and ownership. I don't understand. If the Lord gives you the land, does he not also give you the people who are on that land?
Come on.
The food,
to shepherd
the water.
the flock.
Do you not also have that
you have
responsibility
to be a custodian,
Right.
Yes,
of taking care of people?
Did he
And
maybe
that
give
is-
you a book that said, like, this is how you should treat other
This
people?
is how you know
Right,
them
yeah.
of their fruits. They
I
will
think there was 2
feed the sick
or 3.
Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, heal the sick, right? Not make people
Yeah.
hungry, sick, and naked, right? And so that has always been something that I've struggled with. And when we look at what's happening, it has been because the United States has supported this from the get-go. And it's like we could live in a totally different community, a totally different world. But like here in the United States, something goes bad, what do? We blame immigrants. We talk about, we need to round up and kidnap and imprison and incarcerate immigrants. It's the same playbook. Look at El Salvador. The guy basically just said, hey, we're getting rid of term limits and I'm going to be your forever president, right? It's the same group
We
of
have a word for
people.
that, and it's not called president. It is
Right.
called something else, and it starts with dictator.
The same
Starts with
group
dick?
of...
It does start.
It's, you know,
Oh, that's crazy.
it's always a man.
Always.
You don't know what man, but it's always a man. But when we think about like the state of the world, and I always want to reinforce that it could be so simple.
Yeah.
Like I want to see a dictator be like, you know what? I'll make sure everyone is clothed, everyone has housing, everyone has medical support.
Yes.
Even Cuba, like we rate and we talk about Cuba, but Cuba during the siege has still tried to make sure that its people have food, shelter, water, education, and a skill, right? They are under siege. I would like for our elected officials to fight over how many people they have helped, how many hospitals they have built, how many apartments they have built, how many schools they have supported.
There's no money in that.
Hey, Miracle.
There
Hey, Miracle.
is, though,
Hey,
but that's
Miracle.
the thing.
Hey, Miracle. We can't give you that. However,
We give you a bomb.
but also we could give you this new sports council and put a registered sex offender.
But
He don't know what he's here to do, but he's here to serve.
But
So again,
I just wanna,
you're fighting Epstein charges,
and
and you put a registered
everything.
sex offender who's your friend.
After you mandate that in order to prove that you were not trans, you need to look at people's genitalia, young athletes' genitalia to prove they are not trans. It's creepy. It's nasty. The last thing I want to say is we live in a world where so many of our kids will have a probation officer before they have a school counselor.
Ooh, come on,
where
Miracle.
so many of our people will know what it means to experience homelessness before they know what it means to sit on an airplane.
Yeah.
And I think that it is an utter travesty that we have people who are hungry, people who are homeless, people who are starving, and we have elected officials making billions of dollars based on incarcerating and killing people. And it really is something that we all have to think about. Like, what are we fighting for? What is this democracy we're trying to save if this democracy is basically killing us here and there and everywhere?
And we had this intersection. I know you want to speak to this, Miracle, of, anti-blackness happening at the same time, right? One of the things that took place last week was there was a Freedom Flotilla who wanted to break the blockade with food for the people of Gaza. One of the people on that flotilla was a black labor organizer, Chris Smalls, who was one of the founders of the Amazon labor movement. Right, that was I think they were the first Amazon to unionize. Chris Smalls not only again, we've seen this before. We saw Greta Thunberg, and we saw these people be arrested. But Chris Smalls, as a black man, according to what the Freedom Flotilla people said, was beaten. He was beaten, They said that he showed up with 6 other people. We've seen a lot of black organizers have been the leading voices, and black and brown Congress people have been the leading voices calling for a ceasefire from the beginning, calling what's happening in Gaza a genocide. And yet a lot of times as black people, we're not, we're treated very differently when we make those comments, right? It'll be interesting to see what happens to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was the first Republican to go on record and use the term genocide when it comes to Gaza. Did you want to speak to that intersection?
I think there's anti-blackness is global. We always talk about that, but there is this growing pattern of people trying to put on pedestals white Republican racists and fascists when they talk about the genocide,
or black ones when it comes to like a Candace Owens, right?
Instead,
come on, man.
Yes, but instead of talking about the black organizers like Congresswoman Summer Lee or Congressman like Hank Johnson, who have been talking about genocide, who have been talking about all of this violence. We looked, even here in Pittsburgh with Mayor Ed Gainey, you looked at, Mayor Brandon Johnson, you look at the Justins, black elected officials who have talked about the genocide, who went out of their way to demand the Democratic Party stop disparaging Palestinians. Right. And there's a blip on the radar, right? When we think about all this organizing, people be like poo-poo. One of this organizer, he wrote in the Washington Post about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I was like, hey, Hank Johnson is right there. Right? Y'all crap on AOC, but Summer Lee is right there. Right? Why are you not comfortable amplifying when it's like black people? You want black people to put their bodies on the line, you want black people to fight and organize, but also you don't want to protect black people who are doing the same thing. Chris Smalls was the only person out of now 3 flotillas to be physically assaulted. The black man, physically assaulted.
Absolutely.
The only one who was told he had to go to multiple different countries to get back home. The only person who was not given the ability to self-deport in the same way. Right? Treated differently. The Congressional Black Caucus didn't say anything. NAACP didn't say anything, right? These institutions who shy away from protecting the most vulnerable abroad turn their nose at our own people when they're fighting for equity, and then here you are platforming a white person for doing barely the same thing. You look at Candace Owens, and you platform Candace Owens, right? Who was like, oh, I've woken up, I've said things, but then you're not also doing the same thing for like Kamau when he comes out. You're not doing the same, the same thing for regular,
there's an acceptable,
everyday.
I think there's still like an acceptable amount of protests and causes that are deemed more worthy. Like people are prioritizing things as it's still adjacent to white supremacy. And I think when you're talking about Candace Owens and a lot of these other people that remain silent or speak up only on selective issues, right? I don't think that we should be in this, and this is me speaking for me, I don't think that we should be in a place right now in 2025 where we should be having the NAACP or the Black Caucus as our barometer for what's more. Right. That those days are gone. Like they play by a rule.
The NAACP speaking for us is 50 years old.
Exactly. They're on a respectability politics thing that hasn't made its way into the century. Right. And they're still expecting black people to step and fetch for a.
When the NAACP tried to have like a funeral for the
N-word, it was just like when Oprah led that shit.
It was pretty much over.
I do think that for a lot of vulnerable people who came to America and adopted white supremacy, seeing a black face be the face of their freedom movement sometimes they don't know how to understand. I do think even a lot of white liberal progressives who think about like freedom fighters, who'll read about George Jackson, still do recoil at the fact that they have to take marching orders from black people, right? And so you're used to black pain, you're used to black bodies and suffering, but when it's black people introducing the legislation, when it's black people making decision making, that is, people have to do their own unlearning. And you see this like over and over again of how people treat differently Summer Lee and AOC. Yeah. How you do a Marjorie Taylor Greene and a Hank Johnson, right? And also the words in which that are used, the tools in which that are used to quell protests. And we have these conversations of like, what is Black people's role right now in this rise of fascism, right? And what do we do at the same time as Black people, understanding when there's Black faces being used, whether at the UN or in the White House, to enact a white supremacist, genocidal government infrastructure across the world, right? Because we are caught in a rock and a hard place, because sometimes people who look like us who are doing the harm.
Come on.
Right,
and that's something that we have to wrestle with.
Biden had, I forget what the sister's name, it was a Black woman who was his press secretary during that whole piece, where many people believe that the Biden administration was empowering. And again, it just more, I mean, we sent how many, again, it kind of boggles the mind when you look at how many weapons were sent to Israel, and then it's like, we still need to send more? Like, why? Like, what?
They have everything
possibly could be happening
every
again.
special weapon.
Power, and they're like, we need another gun. Like, wait, what?
Right, but it reminds me, what you just said reminded me, it was a tweet that went viral from a brother named Corey Richardson. And he said, learning how after a Black girl won a spelling bee in 1908, they canceled spelling bees for 20 years.
Of course.
Reminds me how after electing a Black president in 2008, conservatives are ready to completely chuck democracy if that's what it takes to keep it from happening again. You know what I'm saying? And we're seeing that, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, because I would say as Black Americans, whatever word you want to use, we have nowhere else to go. And I look at, Sierra going to Benin, is that how you say it? Benin, and getting her citizenship. But this idea of like, we really have nowhere to go, no other country. And then at the same time, we've seen how we are turning away immigrants. Nobody's going to take American refugees, right? So this is the world.
We're about to find out, Mary.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
This is the world we're stuck in, right? This is the world we have to fight and organize in. And these are the people we have to build with. And it gets very hard, because I will say, I had posted about how here in Pittsburgh with our mayoral election, a lot of Republican money, a lot of dark money came in to unseat Ed Gainey. And there's a lot of reports coming out about that now. Yeah. And I've been posting about this, and somebody was like, well, what do you want the Democrats to do about that? And it's just like,
their jobs.
Right. And it's just like,
what they were elected to do.
If you can't even protect Black people in your own city, I am not even shocked that you're okay with killing people abroad.
Right. But it goes back to that first point, right, Miracle, where we said, like, where when you try to, and we're an organization that educates and encourages people to vote, but again, we're up against obviously a system where if somebody can just put all this dark money in the race and influence it, right, then like our votes take on less meaning. And again, but the problem is, in that same system, the Democrats want dark money too. It's not that they're looking and saying, oh, we have to create an electorate where the best ideas win, and it's not about who can raise the most money, because many of them have their jobs because they're good at raising money. And so they don't want to, and so this is where the Democrats are stuck now, to me, where you have the like Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Bookers that are looking at Zoran Mamdani as almost like somebody that could end their reign, because their reign is also connected to raising all, Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker are two Black Congress people and senator that get mad money from AIPAC. So why would they want to put campaign finance reform in place when they benefit from millions of dollars from organizations like AIPAC? I mean, Cory Booker went and stood in the picture with Netanyahu, which is to me, all that standing up and stuff, and you're in a picture with this man. How can you then turn around and say you care about humanity and human life?
Because that's part of the script. That's what he's expected to say as a Democrat. Right. That's supposed to be the party of...
But that's why I think this is why they're not stopping dark money, because they're getting
it. They're benefiting from it, right?
Yes.
There's AIPAC, there's the NRA, there's cryptocurrency, there is the cannabis industry. There's so much money in politics.
Cannabis industry, hey, holler at us.
There really is so much money in politics, and when we have these conversations, because we turn down donations sometimes. Some of we can't do that.
Absolutely.
Like we can't. The fossil fuel industry, like, sir, thank you.
Cigarettes,
but,
you know, alcohol.
A liquor company
like,
was trying to, and we were like, we are a Muslim organization. We cannot do that, right? Yeah. But we have, and my friend was like, you're trying to be a person of morals in a world that has none. And that is the industry that we are in. But it is very disheartening when it's just like, you can't even just be like for me, my radicalization was when I was like, hey, there's a report coming out that the IDF is violating children. Can we get a condemnation that like, you can't do this? And the answer was like, no, we're Team Israel. I mean, like, to me, I was like, I'm done. Like that was like my, okay, this is not about to work. But I just do not understand. Like, if you were spending so much money, I feel like you would be like, hey, bro, you're messing up my money. I'm having to spend twice as much because you're doing something stupid.
Right.
I'm now having to deal with money and trying to pass all this legislation and being a social support. Can you maybe change the way you're doing things?
Right.
And instead, it's just like the worst of the worst. But
this is the reality. And I think what we saw happen in New York was all the people that voted for Mondani. And again, I didn't know this until I went to New York, that he got more votes in the primary than any other person in the history of New York.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All these people are the people that ain't got no money. Who voted for him? 18 to 24. All the people that are like looking at the effects of what's happening, that are going to have to deal with, you know, the United States pulling out of the climate change and basically saying, like, I think they passed a bill that said, oh, ain't no more greenhouse gas, isn't dangerous anymore. Just pump as much greenhouse gas as you want. So these young people are saying, yo, we're going to inherit this world of all of this happening. We don't want it to happen. We're going to change. And the question is, who is going to be are the Democrats as a whole going to embrace that? Or, and this is the question, it was just a conversation, what they're asking. They said, like, when it came to the question of supporting Israel, I think it said like less than 10% of people that are registered Democrats are supporting what the country of Israel doing. But when you look at the actual elected officials, most of them have not came out and offered any real critique. So I think so it's the question of like you said, Farouk, like, is this just platitudes about helping the poor and the less fortunate? Or are we really going to stand for this? And this is what we're seeing right now.
I think we do. I think that's the thing. I think the voting base and the constituency has realized that we are a lot more powerful than has been led on to believe. Yes. And I believe that the disenchantment of a lot of voters, specifically with the Mondani election, are now noticing and having this moment where, like, okay, we're at the precipice of real change. We're either going to fall into something a lot more terrible and something that's almost irrevocably damaged, or we're going to reshape this system and demand real change. And I think, to Miracle's point, even though it is, you know, a difficult thing to talk about and reckon with, we do have to realize that people are coming into a point where violence is now a viable option, right? These French-style revolutionary tactics, or like these guerrilla tactics that people are taking justice into their own hands. We've seen it in Ohio, right? With that brother who was his son was murdered by the sheriff. We did. We've seen how people are fighting back against ICE. We've seen with Luigi. We've seen with this recent shooting, like that people are taking the same. Okay, if you are complacent or complicit and just, you know, comfortable with eliminating poor people abroad, you will have. It's only a matter of time before you turn your guns inward. And us as everyday citizens that do still have the First Amendment right and do have the ability and the duty to protect ourselves and other people in our communities, these people are now taking responsibilities into their own hands. And you cannot demonize them when you literally have law enforcement and other people deputized to do the same exact thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, you can't pass universal
care.
Not only universal, but you can't pass like universal student loan forgiveness, but you can get your student loans forgiven if you sign up for ICE. I'm gonna tell you what's interesting is, you know, I've been working with Chinjaraj Kumanyika, who's been on our show.
Large up our brother.
Yeah, man. Who has a podcast, Empire City. And the very first episode is about how the police came from these kidnapping slaves, right? and he asked the question, what would you do if you saw one of your neighbors being kidnapped? Would you call the police? And like you said, we're watching neighbors being kidnapped right now. We just had this major ICE raid here in Pittsburgh. And it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to stand up for your neighbor? So I do think we're being pushed to this precipice. And again, you know, hopefully we'll be here to talk about it and let you know. We hope that we'll be here. Our white pages this week, it's called Slaves to Fashion, Black Dandyism and the Styling of Black Diasporic Identity by Monica L. Miller. You know what I'm saying? You know, all of us, you know, we try to be as fashionable as we can on the show.
I just try to wear clean clothes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we mentioned, I think it was like Ralph Lauren just hired their first like black head of creative design. You know what I'm saying?
And that collection was crazy.
Right, collection was great. And it was kind of based on like Martha's Vineyard. They've done stuff around Morehouse and Spelman. So that's interesting to see. And we know like that black people and people of color have led what becomes fashion for however many years. So if you want to read about it, Slaves to Fashion is our white page this week. Anything else happening?
Yes, for our audience that is politically based, we will be at Netroots this weekend. Oh, yeah. We have panels. We're
with Free Speech TV, yes.
With Free Speech TV. So if you're there at Netroots, come out, say hi, check us out in person. I feel like next year we should do like a actual event,
specifically Approach Miracle. She loves people approaching her, asking her questions about herself.
I don't mind having conversations with people. Just please don't touch me. People just walk up to me and they put their hands on me and it makes me very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is weird.
Just please just like say hi first, introduce yourself first.
That should go for anybody.
I watched the show.
Yes.
You know, and then we can have a conversation. Just please just don't touch me. I think it's
so yes. I know you'll be on a panel. They put our panel at the same time.
What I will say is my first panel is Peace, Populism is Possible. Oh, okay. I believe it's like at either 9 or 10 a.m. But then we'll promote your panel.
My panel is Culture Shift, How Cultural Strategy Can Change the World. Shout out to Irene from Potter NC, an amazing organization that we're partnering with. So it'll be One Hood, it'll be Dream Defenders, it'll be the Center for Cultural Power, folks that are using art and culture to reshape the narrative. So shout out to them. Yeah.
So like just come out, have fun.
Come kick it with us.
If not, if you're in Pittsburgh, come out to Kennard. Does that say it right?
Kennard Park. Yes.
Kennard Park on the Hill District.
Yes.
Another Fridays on deck. You get to see the people, you know, and just like show up, you know, disrupt violence and just our community.
Our first Fridays on Deck in the Hill was a big success. Mm-hmm. Had a wonderful time. Great, you know what I'm saying? Thanks to the work of Farouk, you did a good job in leading that effort. So Thank you. So you know, if you want us to come see Farouk, come to the Hill, Kennard Park, Friday.
I'll be there.
Yeah, 6 to 9.
Yeah, I will not be in New Orleans.
Yes, but you know, I'm doing
the Lord's work.
You're doing amazing work. With that being said, any final comments?
Nope.
Oh wow.
Let's go.
You have final words, Miracle?
Didn't you just drop a freestyle?
I mean, oh shit.
Didn't you?
Oh yeah,
freestyle. I mean, you dropped the project.
Yeah, I dropped the whole project.
A project out.
That's actually doing very well on Spotify and Apple Music right now.
Did you want to talk about that?
It's called Don't Worry, This Part of the Furniture. It's a romance EP.
Okay.
All about relationships.
He stole my line, but go ahead.
Oh wow. Okay, little copyright.
It was
little copyright sewage,
and he made it cultural. He was like, "It's classy."
Oh wow. Okay.
He said,
"Did she credit it?"
No.
She's not, because she didn't contribute.
I said, "Just because you're trash doesn't mean you're recyclable." And what is your line?
All men are trash, but me, I'm compost.
That was actually something that I said to him. Damn, you stealing everybody's shit. Wow.
Don't do that.
We're about to sue.
Don't do that.
I want my money.
Don't do that.
Where's my money?
Don't do that.
With that being said, James Baldwin said, "I love America more than any other country in the world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually." This week in White Supremacy, y'all. Peace. One Hood.